Two questions to ask you. Why did you go in?
Yep.
And why did you go out?
Right. Well, can I deal with the first one first? The reason I went in is actually a very sad tale. My very best friend, a chap called Maddox Bellamy, someone I'd known since I was 11, someone I spoke to every day, became very ill in March, very ill very suddenly. And I was with Maddox in hospital. Last time I saw him, actually, and we were laughing and joking, and he said, you should do Big Brother, Grant. And I said, why? Why should I do that? And he said, to prove to everyone you really are an idiot. You know, he was laughing and joking. Yeah. Tragically, he died a few days later. But what he said to me resonated with me a little bit, and that's how it started. Phone calls were made, and I ended up on the show.
So there was a perception thing. There was something, as Ruth was saying there was a whole story the public were waiting to hear,
yeah,
but you weren't really given the chance to tell it.
No time to tell it, really.
Which leads me to the second point, which was why did you go out?
I mean,
do you think people had you prejudged right from the start?
I think people definitely had me prejudged. And Eamonn, when you're in there, you have no idea of what is being pumped out in the final edit. And people are competing for airtime. People behave very strangely in that house, trust me. And I still haven't watched back. I haven't been in the mood to watch back the programmes that were aired. Yeah. So I don't know how I was perceived in there. I don't know what they put out. But I was up against James Whale. James Whale is a broadcaster. He has 80,000 Twitter followers. And I lost the vote, and fair dues. You know, I'm not complaining.
I think maybe to start with, you were quite quiet, so we didn't see a lot of.
Well, actually, I wasn't quiet. Yeah. I wasn't quiet, but what they showed me as being quiet.
Do you think? I mean, obviously, Anthea, you were married to Anthea Turner.
Yes.
She's very, very popular.
Yeah.
And you know, quite publicly have talked about this. You cheated on her, and that's why your marriage ended. Do you think people were judging you on that, and therefore voting for you based on that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, the perception of myself over the years for some of the behaviour that I've done, for most of which I regret, the perception of me was not great, and I think that's why I'm not in the house today.
What about Anthea, when you told her that you'd been asked to go in? Because she, obviously, you know that's what they want you to talk about.
Of course.
How did she feel about that?
She actually was keen as well. And for the record, Anthea and I speak to each other probably every day.
For the record, Anthea and I speak to each other as well. I just want to say.
So how long? So she was happy for you to, even though she knew.
She was keen for me to go in for the same reason that my dear friend wanted me to go in, to try and show another side.
And how much had you have been in there longer, how much would you have been prepared to talk about in detail about your relationships? Because, you know, people get quite close in there.
Yeah, they do.
Sometimes they forget the cameras are there.
Yeah.
Had you and Anthea decided, you know, you can say this and you can't say that?
No, Anthea and I definitely didn't decide on any rules prior to me going in, and I got involved in some deep and meaningful conversations with Biggins. I got quite close to him whilst I was in there, and Ricky and other people. And what you tend to do, you know, you meet these people. It's a really, really strange atmosphere, but you meet them, and as the days unfold, you get more comfortable with them, and yes, of course, you start talking about, you know, your previous life, what you did before, and I have no problem at all talking about my time with Anthea. You know, I'm very fond of her.
And she's happy for you to talk about it?
Yeah, within reason, yeah. If I'm honest, when you're in the house, trust me, it doesn't take you very long before you actually... I know, call me naive, you do actually forget the cameras are there. You're in a very, very strange situation. And like Biggins said something that got him ejected. At the time, he didn't know he'd said something that may offend people, and neither did anybody else in the house. We couldn't work out why he'd gone, in all honesty.
So did you and the rest of the house think he should have gone, based on what you said? We obviously didn't
know. The strange thing was with Biggins, he went to the diary room, oh, it's a gag, you know, he's gone off to do a task, and then Big Brother heard us and said, no, Biggins has been removed from the house. And then we thought it was serious, but none of us, actually, the penny hadn't dropped, and none of us could work out why he'd actually gone.
OK, well, you had to go too. Just final question. Does that dent your confidence, or is it a game at the end of the day? And going back to your dearly departed friend, are you happy? Any regrets that you went in?
No regrets at all, Eamonn. And, you know, I've done the bit on the sideshow with Ryland, and the reception that I've had from the live audience has been amazing. And I went in and I said, listen, if I can get a handful of people to change their perception of myself, then it will have all been worth it, and I'd like to think...
Why do you care so much what people think
because
about you?
I'm a human being, Ruth, and some of the things that have been written about me over the years are toe-curdling. You know, and I'm a father, I have children, my children read it, as do my children's friend, and I wanted a right of reply, rightly or wrongly.
Do you feel you've got that?
I feel I've got that.
For more of the same, just click here, and don't forget you can subscribe for even more of these amazing videos exclusive to our channel.
The Marnie I know, she's from Geordie Shore. Geordie Shore going into Celeb Big Brother with people from different backgrounds is a mixture for...
Disaster.
Disaster, really.
What did you make of it, James?
You can't justify it. I understand that drink was involved, she was goaded by other people, but at the end of the day, she still did it. She still went up there and exposed herself to someone